Okay, welcome back. I'm on my walk today, and today we're going to discuss is renting a waste of money, and should you buy when you can, or should you buy in general? So, common misconception is that people are saying like, "Oh, you gotta buy when you have the opportunity." So, I've purchased 5 real estate houses basically in the last 4 years. So I buy one probably every year for the last year. That's my goal, to kind of keep them buying every year. So when people ask me, should I buy or rent? That is a very individual specific question, because when you rent, you do not have to cover costs that it costs the landlord to keep that place. So if the fridge goes out, your landlord is responsible. If the AC goes out and you need a new air conditioner, your landlord's responsible. If you need anything else done at the house, it's your landlord, not you. So that's one pro of actually renting. Another huge pro is when you rent, you don't have to worry about where you're going to relocate, because if you're going to relocate to another city or another place, you can just re-rent, and you're basically really quick of selling, or not selling, but of renting a new place. So it doesn't take you long to switch in between towns in a year, because you can send monthlies or whatnot. So if you need to be traveling a lot, renting might be for you. On the other hand, if you know you're going to stay for 20-30 years at the same spot, buying might be a real good place for you if you have the money, the down payment, and the ongoing costs. So owning a house is really almost like owning a car. Everybody can afford a real nice car, but then there's maintenance. And maintenance for a house is huge. You have fees that you've never heard before that can come up. Air conditioner, roof leaking, plumbing leak, sewer leak. You can have all these things go wrong, and you need to have that spare cash to fix it. On the other hand, if you're renting and you don't have those problems, because your landlord's responsible for it. So if something breaks, it's your landlord's phone number and he will come and fix it. If you're buying, then you gotta do it. Second of all is when you're renting, you're not building equity. I know that that's huge for everybody online, saying, "Oh my gosh, you're not building a single dollar worth of equity." Yeah, I know, but you're also not putting in the sweat equity worth of work that it needs to be a homeowner. So when you're a homeowner, you gotta clean the lawn, you gotta make improvements, you gotta keep the paint up on the outside of the house. You gotta do all these things in order for your house to appreciate. Because nobody wants to buy a house that's gonna be really run down. Yeah, if you're in a real specific area, but most likely not so much. So you got to put in the capital improvements, sweat equity. So that's why it goes up in value, and there's a bunch of other factors, but you want to basically sell your house nicer than you left it. That's another key thing to think about. Do you have the time, the capability, the knowledge? And just because society tells you that you should be a homeowner doesn't really mean that you should pick that for yourself. So if you really like renting and you really like that community aspect of a rental, or you are testing out different towns because you don't know where you want to live for a long period of time, renting is completely fine with you and with everybody else, because you don't need to stick up to the stigma of, "Oh my gosh, you don't own a house." We should go away from that as society to say stuff like, "Oh, you should own a house, do that," because there's so many advantages to both sides. So it's basically just what fits you. So this wasn't for my walk, comparing the cost to own or rent, and I hope I made it pretty clear to you what you should pick. Let me know if you have any questions.